Hi, it's Scott, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review for you. Let's talk about the 2024 film, Elevation. I thought this was a streaming movie, but it had a theatrical release back in November. And it was at my Walmart the other day on Tuesday, new release day, for $14. I was like, really? Well, I haven't seen it, and I heard my friends liked it, so I'll give it a shot. Elevation is a science fiction kind of post-apocalyptic story where some kind of creatures have wiped out most of humanity, a la A Quiet Place. Matter of fact, the producers of A Quiet Place were involved. And they can't go above 8,000 feet of elevation. So whoever survived were up there in the mountains. They either made it there, or there are some towns and stuff that are high elevations in Colorado and whatnot. The movie traverses in some beautiful scenery in such a mountainous place. Everything is mountains because that's where we live now. It's 3 years after the events. We basically hear the audio of what happened, and we are introduced to Anthony Mackie, Morena Baccarin, and Maddie Hassan's characters as they try and figure out how to survive in this post-apocalyptic world up on top of a mountain. It's beautifully filmed, beautifully shot. George Nolfi directed this. His first movie about a decade ago was The Assignment Bureau with Matt Damon, if you remember that one. He's written some good and mediocre movies. He's directed some good and mediocre movies. He's got some other things in the fire. This was an $18 million budget, only made $3 million in its theatrical release, and now you can find it everywhere on streaming service. I really thought it was like a Netflix movie or whatever. I didn't pay much attention to the trailers when it first came out. I saw some early reviews, said it was worth a watch, and that was it. John Glenn wrote it, and he's a pretty good writer, so it's not bad. Like, I wouldn't go to it if you're looking for a AAA type, big budget, $100 million sci-fi action film, a la Edge of Tomorrow or something. But if you catch this on streaming, you would walk away and go, that wasn't bad. And the best or worst thing about it is it's only the first half of the story. Not to get into spoilers, but we're introduced to Anthony Mackie's son, who goes past the line because he likes to look at the other families. They live on other mountaintops, and you can only see them from certain places, and they don't always talk to each other because, well, energy is hard to come by, and you don't waste a lot. And when you really can't go to town to get supplies, you kind of have to live on what's on the mountain. And what moves the plot in motion is that the son has some breathing problems, and every night he's on an oxygen machine with filters, and the filters have to be replaced, and they use the last filter. So he's got to go into Boulder, Colorado to get more filters, and that's below the line of safety. And pretty much if you pass the line, one of these creatures is coming after you. And you'll find out later more details about that. But anyway, the creatures are well animated, well integrated into the film. They're CG, obviously. There's some few tentacle things that are done practically, but a lot of it's CG, and it's well done. For the budget of the film, I thought it was fine. Watching a Blu-ray up-converted to 4K with a nice 5.1 surround sound, DTS, it was fine. Like, I was expecting to go, well, the special effects weren't very good in my review. They were great. I mean, I expected them to be worse, but they also hid them behind, like, the creature when he's galloping, he's mostly behind a rock with some tentacles and feet flying and stuff like that. They do some smart things so that you don't see the thing in bright daylight all the time, but when you do, it looks real. And when they get into some caves and stuff and see them, well, they look even better there. It doesn't have a ton of that kind of action, but as the movie goes, there's more of that because it becomes a road movie, a journey movie. And like I said, I don't want to give anything away. The movie does have an ending, but it also there has to be a sequel kind of ending right before the credits. I think Anthony Mackie is great. He's fine in this. Morena Baccarin did some acting I've never seen her do before, so I really like that. She kind of plays an aloof scientist who's trying to figure all this out, and she doesn't really like people. That's just not really the kind of character she normally plays. Maddie Hassan is kind of the outlier. I have never really seen her in much. She looks kind of like another actress. I won't say that to criticize either one of them. I don't want to say that they hired her for that because they couldn't get the other girl, but that's very much what it appears like. And, well, something bad happens to one of our main characters, and I'll let you figure it out based on who are the people you know and don't know? It was kind of obvious from the get-go that this character would almost be disposable. And that's kind of sad. But like her addition to everything and her comments on things, it was just like, you could have kind of cut her out of the movie and we still would have had an interesting journey with the other two main characters. There are other people in the film. There are other places in the film. I'm trying not to give anything away. It's only a 90-minute film. They really do a lot in 90 minutes. They establish the universe very well. I really like the surround sound. Like I said, it's only available on Blu-ray in the United States. I don't know if it ever will get a 4K release. The Blu-ray also has absolutely nothing on it. The movie, there are no extras, there's no commentary, there's no anything, no trailers. You get a Blu-ray with the movie, and you could add subtitles. That's about it. But for $14, what do you want from a new release film? Has a nice slipcover on it. The artwork is great. But the surround, in the beginning, when you're first introduced to the characters, you have the person running away from the creatures in the front of your living room, and the creatures are all in the back coming at the front. It's one of the better chase scene dynamics and sound design that I've heard recently, because it really felt like you were being chased. Those things were right behind you, and the footsteps were not just in front of you, but right there, like they were your footsteps. It was really an interesting and almost intimate sound design for an outdoor scene that I had ever experienced. It really felt like there was something huge and heavy breathing kind of behind me, after me. I really like that. There's also some really nice sound design when they get into some caves and some tunnels with some echoes and some effects being thrown around. Quite surprising for a low-budget film with a 5.1 surround sound mix. Like I said, all the special effects look good. The story is fine. The cinematography is well done. The acting is good for the level of what we got here. Like I said, I expect it to be a streaming movie. It's actually a decent story, and I think it has potential to be a great part one. You will watch the film and not oh, that sucks because it just ended here. No, it does have an ending, but what they tease to be a sequel, that's the film I want to see, and this was just the prequel, and I'm ready for that. But all in all, if you get a chance to watch Elevation on a streaming service or pick it up cheap at Walmart, I would highly recommend it for something. There is a lot of things going around that the physical media may still be on its way out, and I find that hard to believe because, well, the sales of things are going back up and things are being sold out early and things like that. It's a good sign that physical media is not going away, but there's still that doomsayer out there. And I would just say, if you have the room to have a shelf and have some movies on a shelf, this wouldn't be one of the first ones I'd buy, but if you find it cheap and something to watch on a rainy afternoon, it's not a bad flick at all, and it doesn't insult your intelligence. Looking forward to the sequel. Elevation kind of gets a 3 out of 5 for me, but that's high because as most streaming movies go, they get below that because, well, I find them to be a waste of time. This one was a fun time had. For the 90 minutes, I enjoyed it. So it's available now, directed by George Nolfi. Check out Anthony Mackie and the gang. He was also a producer. Moreno was also a producer on it. They wanted to get this movie made. I don't know that it made enough money to get a sequel, but with streaming services and such, it would probably make money. So here's hoping for Elevation 2, and we'll find out what the real deal is behind the creatures. I'm Scott. I'm ROCKFILE. More podcasts are on the way. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to a podcast, and have a spectacular one.